They'll get your life back to normal. Lonnie with Restore It Restoration.
Welcome to another edition of the Service Guys podcast. I'm your co-host, Ruel Abadam. On the other end of the recording is our good friend, our service professional, Lonnie Beecham. What's up, Lonnie?
All right, let's roll.
We're live in effect. This is the Service Guys podcast, and it's 2021. Happy New Year, sir.
Yes, sir. It's January 8th, 2021.
Amazing that we've lived this long.
Yeah, where's our flying cars?
I know,
where's
George
Mad
Jetson.
Max? We're supposed to be, Mad Max was based in year 2021.
That's what I've been seeing online, the dude that's basically just wearing straps and leather and
Right. I feel like that dude. How are you?
I'm good. For a long time, and we've talked about it before. For a long time, I've been struggling with my nutrition and health, and that impacted my mental state, and then things that are outside of that probably contributed, that caused me to sort of fall off. So, bottom line, since before Thanksgiving, I've just been on a better trajectory, I suppose, and I'm feeling good. And how about you?
Good. Yeah. I'm lighting some fire. Yeah, we can talk until I got several phone calls that are due to come in anytime, and they're all as equally as important. So
sure. Yeah. So there you go, folks. The service guy, our service professional, is on duty. So at any moment, he may just need me to head out.
Right. Well, this is more personal. I told you my dad's in the hospital, right?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
He has COVID and congestive heart failure, and I'm supposed to get a phone call from the nurse or doctor that's tending to him, and they're talking about letting him out today or tomorrow. And
okay.
So if they call in 5 minutes or 45 minutes, I don't know. And then I got several other. Then my brothers can be calling at any time for updates, and I can ignore them because I don't really have much updates. But sounds
sure.
like my dad's going to be on oxygen at home for a while.
Okay. Yeah, I know you've talked about your dad on and off, in small spurts whenever, in the past episodes and stuff. And, from the bottom of my heart, I don't like hearing when friends and friends' families are going through medical stuff. And I do hope for the best, for you and the family.
Well, thank you. It's okay. I mean, Dad's doing better. His oxygen. He drove himself in on Tuesday to the emergency room, and against everybody's judgment, we were like, "Dad, you need an ambulance."
He's awesome.
He went off the radar for close to an hour, and for a 20-minute drive, it's like, "Where are you?" And he was too confused to drive. And this is a man that has driven 5+ million miles. He actually owned one pickup that he personally put 1.2 million miles on that one pickup himself.
Oh, I love it.
And, somebody like him, he should have been on autopilot and, just driving right there. But he had to hang up from my older brother when they were talking because he was too confused to talk and drive. He had to focus on driving and breathing, and his oxygen was at 85%. And then it was dipping down into the 70s, and they freak out at 90. And then Googling. I'm not a doctor by no means, but Googling, they flip out when you hit 75, and the lowest that I've heard that they've seen is 72% oxygen. So
how old is
playing
your dad?
with this 75. He just turned 75 this past November. So
wow.
Yeah.
We're not doctors, we're not experts, but for the young listeners, there's so much that your body can do despite your age and your condition. He's multitasking, 75 years old with a blood oxygen level of suboptimal.
Right. Right.
And he's on the phone, and he's got to get somewhere, and he's having a hard time breathing. Holy cow.
Yeah, and his blood sugar's been consistently running over 200, and they're giving him insulin, and yet they're feeding him mashed potatoes and gravy for lunch, and then they're giving him more insulin. It's like, jump off the hamster wheel, people. I mean, come on.
Give him a nice juicy steak.
Mm-hmm.
And then a side of juicy steak.
Wow. More steak, yeah. So, other than that, it
doesn't sound like you have a lot going on.
Well, then, Tuesday I got attacked. I don't know what that's all about with the 1-star review that was just nasty.
Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, meanwhile, today I was sitting there talking to some 90-year-old people about a mold job. It was the first look-see, so I was just gathering information and data and measurements and that sort of thing. And then their daughter lives in a town 2.5 hours away that she's a realtor. And so I decided, they said that I will definitely be whoever does the mold work will be talking to the daughter at some point. So I just went ahead and, was full honest that, hey, I got a 1-star review that nobody can track down. Nobody knows this person. And then they did. I don't know if you noticed, but they even edited the review. So then my first reply was that I talked to all my customers all the way back from July of 2020 just to touch base and see what's going on, and nobody seems to know this name. And then when I replied, they edited their 1-star attack to take out those kind of details. And I went ahead and replied and said, I'm leaving my first reply, even though you edited yours out to make mine, kind of not, sound quite coherent.
It's not just a spam review; it's a troll behavior. I don't know much about that the sort of behavior, but they're trying to be slick about it. And
they had enough. They had enough pertinent information, so they misspelled my name. It was Loonnie, and that's close enough. And then, but they had my business name. They had, a town north of Jeff City, and
you can find all that on the website.
Right. So, who it was, and was it a troll? Was it spam? Was it, what? I don't know. And then there was a foreign name, and nobody knows that name.
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know if it's a generic name for, the origin of that type of name, but what I did see on Google was it's like a name of a athlete celebrity, from that group, from that country, or from a country. It's like, so
what country is it from?
Maybe something like India, someplace like India. No offense to, I'm not trying to be racist or anything. It's just, I'm like, okay, maybe I can find his name or her name. And he's targeting, he happened to mention a town that you service. I'm like, okay, maybe we can kind of get a sense of, who this reviewer is, who is not a customer of Restored Restoration, who is bashing, the company and making all of these claims to see if they're even legit. And I couldn't come up with anything other than the name is the same name of some celebrity. It's like, okay, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rohit Sharma.
There you go.
And, that's nerve-wracking. That is not what I needed Tuesday. you never need an attack like that that's baseless, but man, it puts your credibility on the line. So I was just honest and upfront with these people, and you know.
When you're hiring someone to clean your carpets, you're probably assuming that they're using better equipment and better cleaning solutions than you would. Unfortunately, this is not always the case. Their equipment should heat the water to 200 degrees to ensure that your carpets are not only clean, but disinfected. Next time you hire someone to clean your carpet or tile, ask them how hot their water gets. If they don't know or it's less than 200 degrees, send them back and call me, Lonnie Beecham, with Restore It Restoration. I'll get your carpets done right and your life back to normal.
Oh, and I did do the report it to Google thing, and they determined that it didn't violate any of their policies.
Yeah.
I was hoping that they
Google.
could see that it was edited out, and I can't blame Google because everybody says, "Oh, that's a fake account." Well,
yeah,
I was hoping that they could see that it was edited out and added more to, and it screams, he's a liar and lies through his teeth and preys on people of advanced age. And so here I'm talking to 90, literally she's 90 and he's 87, and there's a daughter that's involved, and it's like, man, I'll just be honest, this is just an attack. I know you don't know me from nobody, but I got referred in by a strong referral source, and it's like I've never ever taken advantage of nobody, and I sure go out of my way to I'm way above board on old people. In fact, I demand, if at all possible, that there's a child, if they got a family member or somebody that lives close, when we start talking money and stuff and signatures and contracts, I want, if there's anybody there, and we even do the Zoom and FaceTime and anything and everything, so they can and I email everything to if they're not able to be in person, I'm emailing and faxing or whatever so that they can see what mom and dad are about to embark on, and then they're there via speakerphone or at a minimum, if not video chat. I mean, I don't want to hide nothing from nobody. Yeah. And then this attack out of left field.
Yeah, I like how you approached it, because you basically said, anyone can contact me and try and discuss what you are claiming, accusing us of, right? Right.
And then I also try to phrase it. I mean, we've made mistakes. I mean, we all do. And I've learned years ago. Luckily, I learned whenever I was working for somebody else, but I just learned that when you make a mistake, it's better to just go and be honest and tell them, hey, we broke your vase, or we, whatever it is, we did this, but we will make you whole. We'll fix it. We'll replace it or pay for it or whatever. I've never, and in the 7-8 years of being on my own, I've had to write a couple checks because we've damaged something, carrying a piece of equipment, and one of the guys put a piece of equipment in some drywall. Well, guess what? Now we're patching drywall and painting and, that sort of thing. We've never ran away and said, never stolen money. And then if anybody knows anything about mold, they're saying that, the insurance company paid me for mold remediation, and insurance companies don't pay for mold. It's always out of pocket. So, but it is scary if you don't know me from nobody, and you're looking at two companies and two sets of reviews, and this one's like, he's a liar that lies and lies through his teeth and preys on old people. Wow.
Yeah, that's
honestly, I'm waiting for a phone call or an email or something that'll go along the lines for $300 or $500 or something. I'll take that review down, is what I'm kind of expecting. Oh,
really? That's what people do. Have you heard of stories like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. When it's spam and spoof, and they're just attacking people for money.
Yeah.
And then it's well, I don't want to give them a credit card, and I also don't want to just give them money to have them. Well, I lied. Now I need another 500, or
Yeah.
I don't know what I would do on that one.
So you went on the review page and you tapped the flag as inappropriate.
Yes.
And and then Google like whatever.
And actually, I guess I don't know if I can attach a photo or not, but if they do send me an email like that, I'd be more than happy to take a screenshot and try to attach a photo. But I don't think I can attach a photo. But I would sure love it if they did, and I could, because then it'd be like, hey, people, this is what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
I've been waiting for a bogus 1-star review. I mean, it happens all the time, and I've seen it in in this past 4 years of politics. I've seen people on both sides of the aisle in our little carpet cleaning boards. If somebody says they're for Trump or whatever, I've seen the members in that group go find their page and leave 1-star reviews with fake names and everything else. I've seen that dialogue, and then they come back in saying, "What's up with?" I say something that I'm for Trump or I'm for Biden or hope Biden wins or hope Trump wins or whatever, and then they get attacked, and it's pitiful.
It is. I mean, when you first told me that story about how some people behave like that, it freaked me out. I'm like, then this happened, this 1-star review that popped up on your thing, and it's like, is that one of these things, or what's going on here? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine Tuesday night that's in the business, and he asked me, "Have you gotten into it with any competitors?" I'm like, no, we're all cordial. And I said I even go so far as to make sure I wave at all of them, and I do the full hand wave. I don't even do the 2-finger wave because I don't want them to think I flipped them off. I just, if I see them and I wave, and then it's the whole hand just waving at them so they can't think I'm giving them the 1-finger salute.
Yeah. And the other thing I wonder too is like, is this like a technique that other competitive businesses do to try and affect another business's sort of searchability and ranking? Because map search and web search algorithms may take into account reviews or ratings to determine whether or not to showcase them or feature them at a certain level on a list. I mean, the only other thing I think about is like, well, then do our best to get more 5-star ratings from current and new customers who
Well, then they even say so. I only had 4 5-star reviews, and they were honest, legit customers. And I do ask, but I'm horrible about putting the automated things in place, and I do ask, but I don't push. And some people say, "Can I leave you a review?" And I'm like, "Oh, please," And but now when you got 4 before, and then now you have 5, it's also for businesses. It's not good to have 4 or 5 5-star reviews, because then people think everybody's friends and family and neighbors. Yeah. So that's it's a wake up call is what it is. That I need to be more diligent, and if I need to pay a service or something to get the review thing coming in more automated and kind of put it in their emails and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I need to do that.
And I don't know how your customers are, if any of them do things like, I need your service definitely, but would it be okay if I got a couple of references from you? I don't know if that's even a thing for customers in your area. And, because if so, that could be something where you're like, well, I can check with my past customers to see if they're okay with me.
Well, and I do have several that tell me all the time that, man, and I've given their names out.
Yeah.
And I got a list of people that I can throw at them. And sometimes people ask for references, and most of the time they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if people are really worried about like this one glaringly looks like spam type of review, then they could take the extra step to ask for references and do their research that you're legit and you're not that kind of guy.
Well, even back
that they described
a couple of years ago, I was running radio ads, and I had a customer hear it, and she's like, "Hey, can I come?" She asked to come in, and give a testimonial. I didn't even ask her for it, and I'm like, "Please, by all means."
I remember. Yeah, I remember the audio. Yeah, the recording. Yeah, that was beautiful.
So. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's a wake-up call, if nothing else.
It's kind of like what Vinny has said on his show. It's like, you need that one sort of bad rating, then you've made it.
Right. So what else is going on? How's your work? How's your stuff?
It's things are good. Just start of the new year, so it's always I'm supposed to get more work on the day job side to keep me busy. So we'll see how that turns out. It's good. It keeps me active. And then on the personal side, my wife and I continuing our business, the bake shop business. We're working on that. That keeps me busy, outside of family and the day job stuff. And somewhere in between, I've been trying to get active and get back to running. So, yeah, it's pretty stacked. But happy to be alive, my friend. Happy to be alive.
There you go. Kids are all doing well. Are they all still virtual schools?
Yeah, they all still are. And before the holiday break, the district was asking families to choose between a hybrid model and a fully remote model. And our household, we opted for fully remote. And then there were other households that went the other route. Only for everyone to be told, well, we're temporarily going to all be remote because we're still sort of like at a level where we're not confident to to have people come in and do a hybrid model. So it's like, what was all of that effort for? Gathering people's choices and things, and it it's a whole big effort. What made them think that we were out of the woods?
Right.
Let's really, as a whole community, feel confident, or maybe a whole state, or maybe a whole country feel confident. Like, yeah, we're good now. We can breathe. But stop trying to make plans just to make some of the people feel like they have options, because sometimes you don't really have an option when it comes to your health. It just, I don't know. I mean, to us, it just felt silly that there was this whole back and forth with emails to families and things, and people having to complete surveys and things. And then, because that takes a lot of effort. Someone has to compose a survey. Someone has to collect the data. Someone has to start working on schedules and allocating teachers who are going, dividing up resources to support hybrid and support totally remote and all of this. And then suddenly it's like, no, we're changing course. Like, wow, why bother? But yeah, all kids, everyone's still fully remote. It's a new term. It's a new semester. So because of the decision to keep everybody fully remote, families or students who were enlisted to be hybrid, it just meant there was a change in some of the roster in some of the classrooms. So like our kids have some new classmates and things. That's all. And fortunately, everyone pretty much kept the same teachers. So how about your girls?
Well, my girls they're in school. They're in person. So.
Oh wow.
So how your kids are young enough that they're under tighter mom and dad control. I mean, how are they doing with their socializing and seeing other kids? Are you doing any of that, or are you totally trying to isolate as a family altogether?
No, we're not. We're not complete isolation. I mean, we gauge, our comfort level with whether it's cousins or aunts and uncles. We gauge, as a individually and as a collective, how comfortable we are. And like we've had interactions with relatives and things, we just make the call ourselves, and try to be, and everyone's cautious, some folks, people in the house are walking around with masks, and it seems silly, but it really depends on, at that point, the individual's comfort level, but we're all close. So, we take the risk for the benefit, vice versa. And, so far, and that was even before the holidays. So, we're all still here. No one's reported they've tested for positive or anything. So as far as the kids, given the current circumstances, they're getting, as much interaction as they possibly can that's safe, and they have each other. And, we do have our oldest and we do have our boys participate in sort of the online sort of play date type things. So
online play dates? How does that work?
Yeah. Well, for the boys, it's basically, they zoom in with their buddies and like, hey, how's it going? And then they get the small chat out of the way, and then they're like, okay, let's go, do some online video gaming, virtual gaming. And it's like, they're interacting in the same sort of game world. And it's kind of weird, but it's gaming basically. But it's something that they get to look forward to, and something they get to work towards. If they don't do what they're supposed to do and behave the way they're supposed to behave, they don't get that as a reward. But socially, they have each other for real. They have us, if nothing else, which is to me great, right?
It's great, but other kid interactions are good too, though.
Yeah. Well, they're a good range. 7, 10, and 12. Just in themselves. It's a decent mix. The youngest one learns from everybody else, and the older one tries to learn to be a leader, and the middle one, takes care of everybody else because he's in the middle.
Right. Yeah.
We do head out. We do things, and if anything, they get to see the world outside of the house. We'll go to the groceries. We'll go to the post office. We'll do takeout.
For real, I hate to break it to you, but no kid wants to go to the post office.
Oh, it's the best. I love it. When I was a kid,
adults don't even like to go.
I don't know. When I was a kid, it was okay. It was one of those P.O. boxes that had the little dial for the combination.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like my brother and I had to remember what the combination was, and we had to take turns opening up that thing, and just doing it, executing the combination and opening up the thing was cool. That was our game, but that was our video games.
Right. Yeah, I remember Pong. Yeah.
So socially, your girls are good because they're in actual school.
Yeah, and my oldest has a job, and she works like 3-4 days a week, and so she gets that time. And then our house is now the house of teenagers, and my neighbors can just tell when everybody's over because there's tons of cars in the street, and
that's cool.
That's what we wanted. That's what that house was all about. We wanted to be the house for the teenagers.
That's cool. Yeah, how's the new house doing?
Everything's great. Got a great neighborhood, great set of neighbor friends, and last Sunday, me and my neighbor, we were, it's cold. It's 20s and 30s around here, but Saturday we just Sunday we me and my neighbor, we were just tired of being in the house. He goes to work at 5 in the morning, and he gets home anywhere from 1 to 3 o'clock, and his wife goes to work 8 to 5 or 6 some days, and we hadn't got to hang out, so we literally just started. There's a set of wood down behind our house. I grabbed one of my sawzalls. We just started cutting up some limbs and branches and stuff, and we just set it on fire, and we just stood around there and watched fire burn. And we were just even joking about how we're doing absolutely nothing of any significance, but we're just bored and tired of being in the house. And it's good. It's good. Everything.
Staring at a fire.
Yeah. And who doesn't like a good fire? Maybe that's a man thing. I don't know. But I know I could sit and watch fire all day, every day.
I'm with you. I
got a fire pit.
Fire.
I learned about my fire pit that, so I told you I acquired some limestone blocks, and they're all cracking up, and my whole fire pit's just crumbling.
Oh no.
It's kind of funny.
Really?
It's looking so sad. It is. It's real sad. We've already determined come March, or, sometime in the spring, that we're going to have to do something different. And
so limestone can't take the heat, huh?
Apparently not.
Bummer.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Big bummer.
So I don't know what we're gonna do, and yeah. And maybe it's just a dream that we can't accomplish. I don't know, because we both said we're not dropping thousands of dollars on a fire pit, But it's been great. This time of year you get a lot of, now that everybody's doing it, we've done a lot more online Amazon shopping than we've ever done. And so we get all these boxes, and when you get trash, it shows up once a week. Literally, me and my neighbor, we're burning boxes. If there's, we just accumulate them and accumulate our boxes and burn them. And we might be out there for 30 minutes or 3 hours. We got to do something. Him and I are a lot alike. Always got to be on the move. Always got to be doing something, preferably outside. And he'll call me over to help, since I got a lot of tools, I go over and help him, frame out he's slowly but surely framing out his basement. And he comes over sometimes just to hang out. So I'm loving the new house. It's kind of cool.
You got a new house and a BFF.
Yeah.
A new BFF.
But then the weird thing is, he's only 29 years old. I'm like, I'm old enough to be your dad. I'd be young, but I'm 16 years older than he is. But anyway.
Yeah. Wow. Lucky him. Lonnie's my daddy.
Well, what's really weird is his wife's father's 47, and I'm 45. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Uncle Lonnie.
That makes me.
How about that?
That makes me feel a little old. That it's like, huh. But they're good people, and we barbecue or grill burgers or whatever. Or anytime I throw ribs or anything on the smoker, then they always get a chunk of whatever I'm cooking. So.
Oh, that's cool. God, too bad I left it far. I gotta grill something. I missed the grill.
I grill year round, man, especially now that I have a pellet stove. I love my pellet grill. I love it.
So that basically doubles as a smoker? Is that what that's about? Because I'm an idiot about pellet grill. Yeah,
you can set the temperature dial on it from you get smoke anywhere from like 180 to 225, maybe 250, and just low and slow. Or I can crank it up to 500, and so I use it as an oven. My daughters wanted a pizza actually cooked on it on a stone a couple weeks ago, and I love this pellet grill. It burns more wood in the winter since the outside temperatures is cooling it off. It just fires more. But man, it's so awesome. You just set it and forget it. So if you're doing a pork butt or shoulder or prime rib or ribs or brisket or whatever, you just set it at whatever temperature you need it, and it just feeds itself and come back in 10 hours or 6 hours or whatever, and your meat's ready to go. And then what I really like about it versus my old I've had several before this. I had one of those big Oklahoma Joes that had the little side burner, had a gas section and a grill section and a smoker section, and that's good. But then what I found out is, like, when you have charcoal going, you got a big pot of coals sitting there just, smoldering for 6 hours, and then you get done grilling at 5 or 6 or 8 o'clock at night, and then you still got a big pot of hot coals that doesn't cool down, and then I always planned on going out tomorrow to cover the grill to keep the rain off, and then next thing you know, Missouri's known to get it just freak rains out of nowhere. We can go from no chance of rain to 4 inches, and then there's my grill getting rained on. And whereas this pellet stove, once you turn it off, 10-ish, 15-ish minutes, it's good enough to throw the cover back on. So by the time, we take the meat up and we eat and clean up our mess, it's good and cold. Throw the cover back on and clean up any mess you got, and you're good to go for next time. The only maintenance on this pellet grill is about every 3rd, 5th time I use it, I just need to vacuum out the fire, what do they call it, fire pit or firebox or something. Just vacuum out the ashes just so that it, not getting too full. And now I have tons of battery powered vacuums, so I just I just leave one at home now and just pull the thing off and suck it out. We're good to go.
I once made a mistake of taking a handheld canister vac to suck up the mess at the fireplace at a place I used to stay at, and didn't realize that the ash still had a little bit of heated embers or whatever you want to call it. So I cleaned it up really good, but guess what? I kind of burned the insides of that canister vac and had to rush to take it outside and douse it with water because I was an idiot.
You killed that one, didn't you? Hey, at least you caught it. In my fire restoration days, we'd hear that story, or if they had a wood stove or a fireplace or something, they thought the ashes were totally cool, and they throw it in their trash bucket or in their little coal bucket in the house, and next thing you know, the house is up in flames. And that happens all the time. You're not alone, dude.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were staying at who's my sister-in-law's at the time. She's my sister-in-law now. We were staying at her place. They gave us a room to stay at, and it was their canister vac. And they were out of town, and they were actually arriving back from a trip that day, and we were just cleaning up because we were really enjoying the fireplace. While we had a place to ourselves, and it was like, okay, let's time to clean the place up a bit before we pick them up at the airport. So when we picked them up at the airport, we had to admit it. We're like, just want to let you know, we'll pay you back. We'll pay you back. We killed your hand bag.
Oh no! Hey, at least you caught it. I mean, replacing that's a lot easier than going through a whole insurance claim and deductibles and all that jazz. Yeah.
So. Yeah, good thing. Because it was a townhouse. We would have burned everybody else's house.
Oh man. Oh, you know what? They could have sued you too, personally.
Ooh, yeah.
So whatever that canister vac thing, handheld thing costs, it's cheaper than going through all that.
Yeah, it was one of those Auric brand stand-up vacs that comes with an accompanying canister vac, so
right.
for free or something. So we killed that canister vac. Good times.
Yes, sir. Yeah, can you replace that by itself?
Well, time has passed. No one cares. But I do like to appreciate the brand of vacs. So when we ended up living on our own, we made sure we picked up one of those stand-up vacs. Yeah, I love them. I mean, primarily because, when I vacuum a ton of hair, like long hair, I could just go in below and pull all that hair out and get back running. Every other brand that we've bought, I'd had to actually take a screwdriver and remove the brush cylinder, and then I had to do all this extra work just to clean hair. But with the Auric, I could just go in there and just pull all that stuff out, and then go back to cleaning. That's the big thing for me, dealing with hair.
Well, I got three ladies in my house and a lady dog. I can tell you about hair. Just every so often, I got to go clean shower drains out because they're clogged up.
So
I haven't
there's
had
no
to do
magic.
that yet. In my old house, we only had one shower, so all of us were hitting that. But now that we have 3 bathrooms, it's just me and my wife uses mine, and then the girls kind of each have their own.
Wow.
Shoot, my oldest daughter almost has like an apartment. I mean, the whole basement is, she lives downstairs, and, you know, we got a family room, a bathroom, and a whole other bedroom down there that nobody uses. And yeah, it's almost like she has an apartment.
Wow. So I hadn't realized the whole time that, you know, we've been like podcasting and life just goes on. I hadn't realized that you had made plans to move from your old house to your new house. I mean, what made that sort of was that sort of a family plan? Like when the family gets to a certain age, or the kids rather, let's plan to do this, or was it just, how does that work? Yeah, you know.
Well, we talked about it for years. My previous house was built in like 1950, so all the bedrooms were, you know, like the girls both had like a 10 by 10 bedroom that barely fit a twin size bed, and as they were having sleepovers, 7, 8, 10 years old, we were like, man, they're pretty cramped. And the bedrooms were upstairs, all 3 of them were upstairs, and you know, then we had the family, you know, living room downstairs with dining room and kitchen. And so it wasn't real conducive to, you know, couldn't put them in the living room on a air mattress when they were 7 years old, because I get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. And so that was not real conducive to having sleepovers. And then as they got older, and you hear stories of just shenanigans that goes on in other people's houses. We were like, we don't want that for our girls. We don't have a couch surfing uncle. We don't have a deadbeat brother-in-law. You know, outside of an act of God, a lightning strike, a tornado, or, you know, something like that, the kids would be safe. We wanted a place to be able to, you know, let the girls spread out a little bit. The rooms are bigger now. I mean, they're not huge. They're like 15 by 15, but they're big enough to actually have a full-size, queen-size bed in there. And then we got a whole lower level that, you know, the kids can go down there, and we have fridges and stuff down there, and they can, you know, have a place to spread out, watch their movies, do whatever teenage girls do, and not be in our space, and nor would we be in their space. At my old house, we had 1.5 baths, so with the living, you know, bedrooms up on the 3rd or 2nd story, with 1 bathroom, the old doors, they didn't lock. When we had a family code that if the door was open, then it's yours. If it's closed, then it was, you know, busy, and just wait a minute. And well, I didn't want to have, you know, when you got daughters and they're having sleepovers and I'm standing there at 3 a.m. taking a leak, I didn't want to have any kind of embarrassing, you know, walk-ins and stuff. And so I would literally sleep on the couch if we were having sleepovers at my old house, because I had a bathroom, I had a kitchen, and, you know, I could function. I couldn't shower, but, you know, I could do anything I needed to do, and I was out of the way. And that way I didn't want to have, you know, 12-year-old daughter's friend seeing a hairy-chested dad taking a leak, and, you know, those embarrassing moments and, you know, awkward situations. You know, I walked in on, you know, like, we just didn't want to do that. So I just, when we were having a sleepover, I just knew I was sleeping on the couch. That way it's all girls upstairs, and if they walk in on each other, then oh well. And, you know,
Yeah.
my old house is about 1,500 square feet, and kind of outgrew it, and had a basement with a laundry. We were tired of laundry in the basement, living area on the first main walk-in level, and then sleeping level on the 2nd story. And now I can go days without even going downstairs. You know, laundry's on the main level. Yeah, I will probably die in this house, because
that's good.
If I get old and in a wheelchair, then guess what? I have one step to go up inside the garage, so we can build a ramp or,
That's good.
and then be able to go in, and all the doors are wide open, and we have a very open floor plan. Our living room, dining room, and kitchen's kind of an L shape, but open, and 2-bedroom, master suite upstairs, and I could spend hours in my master suite and not even come out. And we got TVs, and everybody has a TV. Everybody has bathrooms, and But now I went from 3 bedrooms that were tiny, like my old master bedroom was like, the master was 12 by 14. Ooh, and the others were 10 by 10. Now I got a whole master suite that we can lock our door and be mom and dad and not have to worry about anybody. And
fit a couple cars in there.
You could.
Yeah,
but now I have
nice.
5 bedrooms and 2-car garage upstairs and a John Deere garage downstairs. That's kind of my man cave area, and holds my 0-turn mower and stuff like that, and all my stuff I bring home from work, all my cups and coffee.
So all girls and you.
And me.
So the question is, when you do you pee standing up on a shared bathroom, or do you sit down and pee to avoid the sprinkles on the seat and then cause the ladies to be upset that who didn't wipe down the seat or clean up the seat and left a mess?
Well, I am a man, so I do pee standing up, but I'm also mature enough to lift the lid and the seat and not sprinkle up. And if I do make a splatter mess, then I just grab some paper towel and wipe it up.
Clean it
no
up.
big deal.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
See that, folks? Lonnie's a man.
Takes nothing.
It does take nothing.
Yeah, my master bedroom closet is bigger than my daughter's old rooms.
Wow. Good
Which
for
is
her.
strange. Yeah, my clothes take up very little space. And it's kind of silly. I don't really need all that space, but hey, it is what it is.
Wow. Must be nice.
Well, interest rates were cheap enough that it was almost free.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think I got a note for right at 3%.
Oh, shoot.
So.
Ooh, don't want to ruin that. Yeah, I'd love to be in a new house. I'd love to. Someday, I'm going to get in a new house. Get my own palace like Lonnie.
Well, I got enough room. Your family of 5 can move in the basement if they don't mind bunk beds.
I'll move in with Uncle Lonnie.
Yeah. Yeah, you all really should fly out and come spend a week. Bring your wife and kids and spend a weekend with us.
Yeah,
Someday when we can fly and stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes I think if ever my life went some weird twist and I had to figure out where to just go to go away, maybe I'll just go to Missouri and I'll visit Lonnie. I'll just hey.
Yeah, we'll give Kurt a heads up, and Kurt will come down on his motorcycle. He's done it before.
Wow.
And he drove in the rain almost the whole time, too. He was soggy. He was soggy when he got by the time he got to my house.
Yeah. But, my impression of Kurt is he's like a man's man,
Yeah, he rode his Harley all the way down from North Dakota.
It'll be like,
and his wife is riding on the back.
Wow. Both he and her are the man's man.
Yeah.
If it was
but
snow, rain, hail.
He talks funny.
Bullets. Is just gonna, wow. That's cool. We stayed at your place?
No, he said at that time we didn't have space. Now he could. I mean, we got like 2 extra bedrooms that nobody even uses. So he could have stayed at my house now, but before we were at kind of capacity unless we're going to put him and his wife on an air mattress in the living room.
Gotcha.
Or in the basement that was unfinished. We had plenty of space down there, and we're very minimalistic. We don't have a lot of knickknacks, and we don't keep a lot of stuff. I mean, we got it grows every year. We got like those Rubbermaid totes of just girl memorabilia of their school photos and projects and stuff like that. And, other than that, we don't have a lot of stuff that we might use someday. We just keep it functional. What we need is what we have. We don't have a lot of. Now I do have some storage for seasonal decorations, Easter and Christmas and Halloween and spring and summer, and I don't know. My wife does all that, but I just and then I'm the guy that has all my storage area. If you walk in, everything's up on pallets, and the pallets I screwed casters or wheels to them. So I wanted them up off the floor. So if we ever have a pipe break or something, I can just wheel everything over where I need to wheel it to, do what I got to do, and not have to worry about my stuff getting wet and soggy and ruined. And I keep everything. I mean, it goes right back where it belongs immediately. I don't drag everything out and leave it forever. That's just how we roll. Me and my wife are the same. And my oldest daughter, she actually labels everything, and she's really on it. I mean, as soon as we had the basement finished, she was moving down there and had everything immediately put away. Now my youngest daughter, not so much. All her underwear's on the floor. Everything she's worn for 3 weeks is on the floor, and the clean clothes are on the floor. And I just shut the door because I don't know what's what. I just don't even know. They got dressers in their closets, and I'm like, we provide you dressers. Why don't you put the stuff in your dresser and then put the dirty clothes in the laundry? But she goes, Dad, I do my own laundry. Well, that she does. So we hopped on. I didn't know if I was going to be on for 5 minutes or 2 hours or whatever. I don't even know what the time is, how long we've been running. But I did look at something yesterday that's interesting.
What is it?
I have a very good contact at a very huge bank in my town, and they called me to go start investigating on a mold situation, and we're looking at the floor plans and the blueprints and stuff. And it's 25,000 square feet, and very complicated, very complicated. There's a part of me that, the money part of me wants to get the job, and then the guy that has to make the money don't really want to get the job. Because, this is something I've probably never told you, and you probably don't know this, but a lot of times when you got a big commercial building with 25,000 square feet or so, this is on the second story, of course, they almost always have a drop ceiling tile grid system in. Yeah. When you're in that big of a commercial space, that drop ceiling area above the tile is actually part of the ductwork, or it's part of the cold air return system. And and I'm just sitting there looking at 25,000 square feet, and it's like, I don't even have enough equipment to pull this off right now. I mean, I just don't even own it. Not even if I pulled in all my equipment from every job. I don't even own that much equipment, because that's like tractor trailer size stuff. So if I get that job, I'll be renting some equipment from Sunbelt or somebody and having a diesel flatbed trailer sitting out there. And So like I said, it would be a fun job to learn and make happen. It'll also be a nightmare with logistics and everything else. In fact, this so where this water was intruding on this building, it's a space age environmentally green building, and so there's a space in this what they call an air box that's 4 feet above where I can reach. So yesterday I was literally standing. So I had the head maintenance guy that's over all they own like, I don't know, 150, 200 properties. And he's over all of that. And then his head maintenance guy for that building was there. And I'm like, I need to be able to reach up there. It's I got about a 2-foot opening. So if I end up having to pull this drywall out, I don't even really know how I'm going to get up there because there's pane glass that's 15 feet tall. And then it's, a man can get up there, but you got to like set up walk boards between 2 ladders to lean against the window upright, because you can't lean against pane glass on a second story. I don't want to take a fall and break glass and everything else. So I asked him, I said, man, do you by any chance have a mop handle or a broomstick or something that I can take my meter on to shove up in the sheetrock up there? And so he disappeared and came back with some tape and a mop handle, and I'm like duct taping my meter to it so I can shove it up in this little tight area. I didn't come in with walk boards and two extension ladders and everything. Yeah. I'm thinking, water on the floor. I'm not thinking 15 feet in the air. And I'm standing I'm in the proverbial corner office that's all solid oak or mahogany, I don't know, some high end desk system, and I'm standing on their desk with a broomstick and duct tape, and so like I said, the monetary side of me hopes to get the job, but the logistical side of me is like, how will I even do this?
Wow.
And be able to maintain how many people work on that floor? I think 100 people work on that floor. So I got to be able to balance the airflow from the first floor and accommodate 100 employees coming and going, or have to vacate 100 employees to other locations or working remotely or whatever. So, I mean, it's going to be a logistical nightmare.
Well,
keep the airflow. And I have stationary windows, so I can't get any negative air. It's all positive pressures and air scrubbing. And, it might even end up needing to get a window company involved to take out a solid pane of glass. It's 4 foot wide by 15 foot tall. You just don't do that. Even if they told me today, hey, let's get started, we're not starting Monday, I promise you.
And if you did, let's say you did land it and then you started on it, how long do you project that the project would be over?
Something like that. It would be working around the clock, 2 12-hour shifts probably for a week, 2 weeks.
Okay. And getting the equipment somewhere is just a matter of figuring out how to get it for the amount of time and the level of equipment you need. And then as far as getting guys or, getting bodies to be on top of stuff, you can access people.
Yeah, I have access to people, but then that's going to be – actually, no, I take that back. It wouldn't be 2 12-hour shifts. It'd probably be 2 8-hour shifts, but I'd have to be there the whole time because I'd have to be tapping into a manpower, guy, one of those companies that supply manpower. Well, they don't know what I'm doing. And so I'm going to have to be, the head guy pointing and making things happen. And every time when I get in those situations, I'm over here dealing with this group of guys, getting them lined out, giving them directions, and then somebody from the other side of the building's needing my attention, and then I get to walk back over there and get them lined out. By the time I get them lined out, the other guys on the other side of the building are needing more direction, so I go back and deal with that, and then that's what my job would be.
So is it
cats, basically?
So you put a bid on a job, and waiting for feedback, or how is?
Well,
how
we
does that
just
work?
started the investigation process. My contact is a very good contact guy. He called me to call the mold tester guy to set it all up so that the mold tester guy could call him to get the schedule worked out so that all the powers can be is there. Instead of just calling the mold guy himself, he had me do it, and then we had to work out his schedule, my schedule, and this, the head guy's schedule, and we pulled it off yesterday morning at 9:00 or 9:30 in the morning, and that took 4 hours, and it was just preliminary, just air sampling to see what the situation is, and then we'll get the results back Monday. If the air is too moldy, then we have a different conversation come Monday or Tuesday. If it comes back that everything's good, then we're just like, hey, no harm, no foul. It is what it is. He's just trying to cover his bases because he has, one bank employee that thinks she's getting sick. And here's a real kicker. All this water stuff happened in July, and he just found out about it like 2 days ago. And he's like, why am I just now hearing about this? If you're vacating offices and moving people out because they're getting sick, why am I just now hearing about this? He was pretty upset, but they have like 1,000, 1,500 employees, and that's a day in my office.
And and people maybe thinking, intermixing the whole pandemic thing, people just feeling sick, just people, can confuse, or there's a concern, right? It's like, I'm getting sick. Is it COVID or not? And it's in fashion the whole year. Well, you know what, Monday, it'll be interesting to hear, what the outcome is. And, I'm rooting for you. And,
either way, I'm good with either way. But like I said, there's a big part of me that hopes the air comes back fine. But otherwise, I got to figure out how to work with basically a cold air return that's 25,000 square feet big. And what that looks like. Yeah.
You got a big old trailer.
Yeah. Well, there's companies out there like Sunbelt. You probably got a Sunbelt in your backyard somewhere, but they specialize in those big earth movers. If I needed a bulldozer for a week, I could rent one. If I needed a boom lift that can go 150 feet in the air, they have it. Now, where it's at in relation to, they'll have to bring it in from Atlanta or Chicago or who knows where. That kind of stuff isn't just sitting right here in Jeff City. It's somewhere. It's out there. And then there's a lot of fees that come with that. And then you may or may not know this, but if let's just say that they're going to charge me $10,000 for a week for this equipment, I'm going to be billing out $18,000 for the week on this piece of equipment, because that's part of how we make our money. Usually our margins aren't that big, but this is more specialized, and with that comes a lot of logistics and a lot of fuel fees and day rates, and a lot of times when you rent stuff, if you rent it, typically anything like that, if you rent it more than 12 days, it's cheaper to just rent it for the month. There's a lot of stuff like that. And then they charge to deliver it, charge to pick it up, charge to haul it back, charge to clean it up, all that kind of jazz. So this is potentially the biggest nightmare I've ever faced, or hopefully the air comes back good and we just, wave at each other when we pass each other on the highway.
Well, I hope the best for you, whatever direction it goes. And
well, then I got to build in contingencies on, my money. Normally in a residential environment, I can pass. I know I had that issue with one of the last jobs I did, but we won it eventually, right? But that was just coordinating one lady that lived in her house by herself coming in, but then building in how 100 people on just that floor, but every time they open the door to the main level, that changes the airflow and dynamics upstairs as well. And you guards.
armed guard.
Well, you know what? That happens a lot of times depending on the jobs. We've actually had to hire armed guards for certain jobs. And, that's all kind of goes with it.
Yeah, like the canines. Jeez Louise. Yeah, the indoor environment is a serious business, folks.
Can be.
Cool. This is an episode?
Well, I have to jump off, and I have to get caught up on some stuff. So
okay, same here. I'll say.
Yeah.
This has been fun. It's good catching up. I know it's only been a few weeks since the last episode, but it's always good catching up with Lonnie.
There's always something going on.
Yeah. Best to your dad, and hope everything works out. And good luck on Monday when you get the update.
All right, Ruel. Well, I got to roll.
Right. Okay, bye.
Folks, that's a wrap. See ya.
They'll get your life back to normal. Lonnie with Restore It Restoration.
Hello.
Ruel?
Lonnie? Am I coming through okay? I guess not. I'm going to reconnect. If you can hear me.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I can hear you now.
I can hear you, but you're on speakerphone.
Am I?
Yeah, well, I had to try to put you back on my earbuds.
Okay.
Bear with me. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, that was weird.
Okay.
This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production.